YouTube, it's Adam from I'm a Music Mogul. Welcome to a brand new video. Today we're going to go ahead and remake from scratch SZA's 30 for 30 featuring Kendrick Lamar. Tempo for this one is 70 beats per minute, and the track is produced by Did It and Michael Uzowuru. To kick things off, let's start off with that sample. The sample is Switch I Call Your Name, and if it sounds familiar, it does because it's been on a lot of hit records. The original tempo for the I Call Your Name track is 80 beats per minute. I just time stretched it down to 70 beats per minute and lined it up perfectly to the original track. It was a little, you have to move a couple things around to get lined up perfectly, so I did that prior. So this is the sample right here for the intro.
Are you gonna call me?
It's a one-to-one copy of the original track, so it's just directly taken from that track and put in the intro here. Nothing is tuned up or a different key, it's just a one-to-one copy. And then we're gonna jump ahead over to bar 10 over here.
But you know, I'm a man now, baby, a grown man, and I came along.
And we're gonna go ahead and take the pieces of that sample that we need for the rest of the track. So we're gonna take this 4-bar loop over here. We don't need the full thing, but we'll just chop it up. We're gonna go ahead and extract the instrumental from the vocals here in Logic. So to do that, we're just gonna go ahead and control click on our region. We're gonna go over to processing and go to stem splitter. We're gonna take off the vocals, we don't need it. We just want the drums, the bass, and the other. So Logic will do its thing, and now we get this. And then we're gonna go and select all of these tracks and we're gonna bounce it in place. So we're gonna go Control B and we're just gonna bounce this in place so that it's one audio file. And then we're gonna take that audio file and drag it into a quick sampler. So we're gonna select our region, drag it into this gray spot over here, and let's go to Quick Sampler Optimized. So we're gonna take our mode, select that to beat divisions, and we're gonna bring this down to here. All right, we're gonna change our chops just to be laid out on the white keys. This way, when we can chop it up or play it out, we don't have to worry about the black keys when I'm on this keyboard. It's a little bit tricky. So let's bring up our keyboard, and our sample is gonna go something like this. All right, so there is our sample right there. I'm just gonna make this a little bit tighter. Let's go to 0 crossings here. And I'm just gonna push it to be. All right, so that's a little bit tighter. Let's go ahead and record that in.
Your real phone number.
All right, and that just basically repeats itself. It does switch up for the remainder of the track, but this is pretty much the main pattern. So let's just make sure that I'm lined up on the ones here. All right, so it's something like that. And these notes over here, it doesn't play the full sample. It kind of cuts a little bit before the next sample, except this last one over here. All right, so now we're just gonna go ahead and loop that up and we get this. Next, let's go ahead and just move those chops a little bit here. So I'm just gonna zoom on in here and let's just move this over a little bit. That's a little bit better. Move that over. There we go. That sounds a lot tighter. Next, let's go ahead and add in some effects to make it sound like the one from the original track. So the first thing we're gonna do, we're gonna open up EQ and we're just gonna take out some of the low end here. We're gonna boost a little bit of the low end here. Now it's gonna be cut off for the most part, but it's gonna be boost just at this cutoff point over here, just to bring out some of the low mids. Make it a little bit fuller. I'm going to boost the highs ever so slightly to bring out those hats. bring in a chorus to widen it up and soften it up a bit as well. So we're going to go over to modulation chorus. This is a technique that a lot of producers use on their samples to soften it up and widen it up as well. I'm going to bring down the mix though a little bit here. Use the default setting. Maybe I'll pull this back a bit. All right, so there's the sample right there. Next, let's go ahead and bring in the drums. We're going to create a new software instrument track. I'm going to go over to my library browser here. I'm going to go to the user patches, drum kits, and I'm going to bring in the 30 for 30 drum kit I put together for this remake. We'll start off with the clap. The clap just goes on the 2s and 4s. So 2, 4, and it sounds like this. All right, and then let's go ahead and bring in that 808. And then this just copies over to the end of the pattern. Next, let's get to that kick. But before we do, I just want to pull back the filter a little bit on the sample. So I'm just going to open up the EQ here. I'm just going to pull this back a little bit to open it up. That's a little bit better. It was sounding a little bit too narrow before. That's better. All right, now let's get to that kick. Let's just change my grid value so I can actually duplicate it over properly here. Push that over 1. Duplicate that over. This switches up at the end. It just kind of goes. So that is the main patterns for the drums. It does switch up in the arrangement a little bit, but for the most part, that is the main pattern. Then we're going to carry on in the beat. So this is the main pattern. And then we're going to jump to the part where there's like a little synthy thing happening and a little bit of a breakdown. So we're going to create a new software instrument track. And we're going to go over and bring in Logic's Retro Synth. And we're going to use the default setting that loads up here. We'll adjust it in a moment. Let's just get that pattern in. All right, so there's the pattern. Next, go and open up Retro Synth and just filter that out so it's not so bright. All right, we're just gonna pull up the attack a little bit here. And then we'll just turn on some chorus just to soften that up. So let's turn on this, go to chorus. And we'll add in some reverb. So we'll go Control Command P and we'll bring in chroma reverb. So it's a little bit of breakdown. It kind of works off the vocal, so it may sound weird on its own, but it goes from this. And then SZA does her thing, and then she's gonna keep singing, and then it goes into this part here. All right, and then we go back into that pattern. So I'm gonna go ahead and copy this over. We'll copy it over twice, and we're gonna go ahead and draw in some more little ARP things that happen in the background using the same sound. All right, and then we have this pattern over here. So there you have it. Those are the 3 little blips that happen in the background. And then we get to another synth. We're going to create a new software instrument track. And we're going to bring in Logic's retro synth once again. And for this, we're going to go over to a strings preset, Synth Strings, and we'll go to the Bright Strings preset. And what we're going to do here is draw on the pattern, and then we'll get to some sound design in a bit. So this happens right at the end of the pattern. So it happens like right here. So let's go ahead and draw in a MIDI region. We'll do it 2 bars in length, and it goes something like this. And I think, if I remember correctly in the arrangement, this gets cut out. The clap gets cut out. Sorry, the kick gets cut out, and the clap gets cut out. Now that is too bright, so we got to just tone that down a little bit. So we're going to open up Logic's retro synth, and let's just bring down that cutoff here. And then let's open up the EQ and just take out some of that low stuff here. Just make it a little bit tighter. And then we're going to bring in some reverb just to fill it out. And then I think this happens once again here, and our kick gets extended. And if that's not right, we'll get it right in the arrangement, because a lot of things come in and out throughout the entire song just to switch things up. Speaking of the arrangement, here is the final arrangement right here. Let's go ahead and take a listen to the full beat that we just put together, 30 for 30 by SZA featuring Kendrick Lamar.
Is this really your real phone number?
So that right there is SZA's 30 for 30 featuring Kendrick Lamar remade in Logic Pro. If you have Logic Pro users out there, I'm gonna go ahead and save this entire session for you. Place it as a downloadable link below this video. If you don't use Logic, I got your back as well. I'm going to export all the MIDI stems, audio stems, and of course include the drum kit that you heard in this remake. You can find that entire playback down below the like button as well. If you do have any questions on this or just want to chat or have any suggestions for future videos, let's go chat down below. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you on the next one. Later.